Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to View from Love. I am your host, Allie Ray, here with my beloved co-host, Lou Martin. Hi, Lou.
Hi there.
How are
Hi,
we
Allie.
today?
Brilliant. Glad to be here. Excited.
Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to View from Love. We appreciate you being on our podcast journey of extraordinary love with us. And today we have two incredible guests. And they're so incomparable. In fact, I've had a real struggle trying to figure out what to even say about them. They're so amazing. So let me start with this. They are quantum architects. They are co-creators in quantum consciousness and have been doing incredible work for many, many, many years, and often very much in the background, but have been creating incredible, incredible things. They currently have a clothing line. They have created games to expand people's consciousness and awareness. They are authors. One of the books is True Romance. Thank You for Destroying My Life. It's definitely a must get, and it's a wonderful and funny and brilliant book. And I am just beyond words excited to have them here today. Like, as I said, they are just innovators. They are truly, truly innovators. And you're going to have to actually get to know them on their website, thebeyondables.com, which is a sparring service, a unique and innovative consulting service that they have just launched. And so without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Vera and Agustí. Hello, welcome to View from Love.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel to tell our guests too that I simplified and said simply Vera and Agustí, because just like Gandhi and Prince, you don't need more than that, right? You're so incomparable in my book, and to me, your oneness, this powerful, beautiful, co-creative oneness that the two of you share. There's just such a warmth in my heart to refer to you as Vera and Agustí. So I just had to say that.
Even make it shorter. Some people just call us Veragus.
Oh, okay.
As
Beautiful. As a unit, yes.
As an organism.
As an organism.
It's fabulous, fabulous. Do you guys would you mind just talking to our listeners here about True Romance? Thank You for Destroying My Life.
Sure. Well, so this book is actually I would say a summary of what we both experienced before we met each other. So we really went through a true romance that destroyed our lives. We both met someone before we met each other.
We were happily married before.
We were both happily married. Not with each other. We didn't know each other back then. But both of us in a, we thought, happy marriage. And we both came across, like out of nowhere, this person that just totally triggered a complete shift in our lives and basically destroyed everything we believed was real and true, especially regarding to relationships and love. So it was a pretty tough and painful process for, I would say, 5-6 years, something like that.
you just made 7th anniversary.
Yeah, I just completed 7 years after meeting the person. So it got better and better, but especially the first couple of years are excruciating. And everyone who experiences something like this will know what I talk about, how it just, you completely lose control, which is the whole purpose of the quantum purpose of this experience. But your little human is just completely overwhelmed and doesn't know what to do with all those feelings, and with all the, everything blows wide open, and you have no idea what you're getting into. And yeah, it's really, it can become a loop, or it can become a fast track to a much higher consciousness, or a much purer version of yourself when you embrace it. But that means to embrace all the pain and all the darkness that has been stored and has been hiding within you that you didn't want to see before. So yeah, this book was the result of this experience that I just put together for people as a little navigation tool if someone gets into an experience like this and just doesn't know anymore what's where is up, where is down, who am I anyways, and how am I gonna live without this person, and what the fuck is going on with
Yes.
So I just felt the experience we had, and a lot of people mistake it for a romantic relationship that needs to end up in a happy ever after, a la Disney or Hollywood. And I just felt it's important to really get to the down to the very core of it, which has nothing to do with ending up happily ever after together, because the whole point is that you're happy alone first, and overcoming all the codependency patterns that we all have and we all grew up with. And basically it's the basis for what comes next, to come into this independence, the state of independence, and being actually able to be alone without feeling lonely and actually enjoying the aloneness. And at the same time, it's the preparation for what comes next. And that's the state of interdependency or interdependence, which basically brings us together in a whole new way as what we're designed for as a human, but we need to get rid of the old software and programs we have learned. And then actually we can start acting or interacting in this new way of interdependence, which is akin to nature and to organisms, how they interact. And yeah, so this book is for the whole first part of that journey, to come into independence and to realize there's so much more to life than what I thought.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And for me, it's like, I could not be here radiating my frequency as pure or without interference or without interpretation, as pure as I am, without this phase of meeting someone, sometimes called twin flame, that for the first time I had a glimpse of what it's heaven on earth when I met that person. But it was a glimpse. It's designed to be just a glimpse, to show you that then there is a phase of separation, and the book, it really shows you that. And then for the first time, I heard the word unconditional. In my life, I didn't know that I was conditional. Nobody told me. And if I try to go to somebody and say, hey, you are conditional in your daily life, look, you are doing if this, then that. You are doing everything just for a specific outcome purpose. For us, it's a little bit like when Neo in the first Matrix movie received the martial arts download, and then zoop, in a second layer. For me, it was like the word unconditional. Zoop, and now you're gonna know all the possible scenarios in your daily life that you are conditional, but now you cannot act conditional anymore. You have to act unconditional in a faster speed, in order that you crash, declutter, and in order that when you design things as an architect, as a pebble for the rest, these things are free of conditional duality, etc., and they are completely unconditional, and everything that you are doing, it's truly in service. So without that it's a fast forward, speed up program. For me, it was impossible, and I will never apply it. If somebody called me, oh, do you want a program to learn how to be unconditional? Pay 5,000 and you sit here in a retreat with us and you're gonna learn to be unconditional. What the fuck? I'm not unconditional. I'm not conditional. What are you telling to me? So this book, in our case, we had to research from forums and from websites 7 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, where it was really few information about all of these. Nowadays, there is plenty of Twin Flame Coach and 5D Coach, and there is plenty of support. But this book, it's really short, but really summarizing the patterns, because I love that Vera, it's able to explain it in a way that you make it completely understandable about that it works for any kind of relationship. And that's universal. And I felt that when she wanted to do the book, it's like, maybe it's only for everybody going through this fast speed program, but no, it's for any relationship in the planet. You can give it to your parents, to your cousins, to your sister, and it works. If you have the level of consciousness or the will or the openness to sit in a book and look at the mirror, because it's really, it shows you where you are conditional or where you are unconditional, and the phases, and where we compromise ourselves or where we are in service. It's really, really beautiful. It's a true romance book.
Yes, yes. And I just to clarify, just so that the audience is aware, you each met a twin flame that is not each other, that
Exactly.
catalyzed your lives. And then it was after that the two of you came together. So the twin flame relationship that each of you had catalyzed you and ran you into the fast forward program that then with your two pure hearts that were resonating at that same vibration were able to magnetize each other to each of you. Yes.
And
Exactly.
Yes.
I have to add that we were together more than once at my twins' homes, and we have a beautiful relationship. She has a beautiful relationship, a really deep heart connection with my twin, and we have a WhatsApp group, the three of us, and it's really so I remember sometimes it's interesting that I remember driving through Europe with her van, and my twin texting me from Florida, Agustí, stop talking about me because you are saying this. It's the connection. It's insane. And those, you can really start getting a glimpse of oneness, and it shows you what it's possible. It's incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, and it's really, I mean, that is that, like, we can be together because we both understand the whole twin flame story, journey, whatever you want to call this, and also that the twin never goes away. It just stays in your field. It's just like that. It's not that you forget about it and then you move on. No, we're permanently, me energetically connected with him, but with her, we really also have a lot of, good talks and chats and so on. And that is one of the things that surprised me too in the moment that I met him, because I didn't think it was possible to, meet someone I would actually think I could be with after the twin experience. And I do feel that's that last bit of conditional thinking that goes down the drain when you let go of your twin. I have to be with the twin because I did all of this work. So now my reward needs to be that I come into union with the person. And there is a union, but it's an energetic union. It's an energetic balance that you yourself, and that's that feeling of you're alone, you're whole for yourself, and it doesn't matter anymore what the other person is doing. And after all the longing and, this, I need to be with this person. If not, I'm going to die. But with every release of crying, of screaming, of which is the whole first part of this journey, when all your emotional stuff is coming up, all your trauma, after that, feeling at peace with it and just feeling the person without any attachment, without any need to see him again in this lifetime, but being connected all the time. That's just the most liberating and wonderful thing. And then it becomes truly unconditional. Mm-hmm. And for me, that was a very surprising, but absolutely stunning and beautiful experience.
Yes.
And yeah, I know a lot of people will struggle with that truth. I would have struggled with that truth as well when I was in the process. But at the same time, it's I just feel it's necessary to talk about this more too.
Yes.
Because people get stuck in that loop of thinking there's nothing else anymore, and the whole, it becomes an obsession. And
Yes.
so yeah, so there is life after twin flames.
And amazing.
Amazing,
amazing life, actually.
Life.
There's
Even more adventurous,
even more yes.
destructive.
That glimpse
Yes.
became a really nano small glimpse compared to the heaven on earth that is these higher dimensions that we can start to experience.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I have to say that it was, I remember when I read the program, not from her, because I hate her website, because she was not promising ever in her website that you're going to get your twin. She was telling these things in her website, and I was like, no, I want a program. I want to buy a program that assures me that I'm going to go back with my twin, and I bought another program. But in another program, it was the sentence that it's I promise you that it's a glimpse of what is a dimension of heaven on earth. And it's truly, I had that as a carrot. I took that sentence of, you say before that against all the odds, Agustí was with the heart open and feeling all the stings. And, I got that carrot because humans, we need carrots, including if it's in a higher dimensions. You need more than carrots. It becomes a compass, a direction. Yes. Because without direction, we walk in circles, and every human needs a purpose, including if it's a small purpose. A human with no purpose, it recycles. It's I think it's explained really well in the second matrix. But it's if a human has no purpose, it is not created, and when it's not purpose anymore, it recycles. Period. So as much as you can have a purpose, and tomorrow can change or can shift or can be a new one, or you go back to recycle, back to source. That it's a really warm and comfortable place for sure. So, and
so there's nothing to be afraid of.
No,
I know, that's right.
I love that movie Soul from Disney, that it explains the great beyond. I love it. It's like, let's go to the great beyond. It's a warm place. And
yes.
It's only, you said it's nothing to be afraid of, and it's exactly that. It's destroy all the fears. This book is about destroy all the fears, because only when you destroy all the fears, including the fear of the death, that it's the more ingrained in our gene key, in our genes, or our gene keys, then is when you become immortal, when you are not afraid of dying. So I feel that purpose, what you're doing now, starting this podcast, it's purpose. What is the feeling today? And it's renew, and it's when new astrology change, or when new things on the outside happens, or new insights or dreams that you have, then it's new purpose and renews. And this purpose gives us direction at least, because directions is everything. Everybody has the attitude to walk, including if you fall forward, if you just stepping in a stone and you're having some direction, because if you fall like this, you don't have direction. But at least if you have direction and you are falling, you are going forward somewhere. And usually the path is really full of stones. It's a rocky path, the path of the journey of everybody. So, but at least when you have direction, you are self-correcting yourself while you are moving forward. And that's, for me, what it's most important part and what it helped me to have this glimpse. I could say that maybe without that glimpse, that I was really attached. One day I was in a cliff, ready to jump. And suddenly, like these divine synchronicities that then my twin call, and 2 hours talk, don't jump, what are you doing? Be calm. But you need the constant, when you are experiencing the craziness that we, in this path, in this awakening, ascension, and whatever it is, new levels of awareness, in the craziness that we are having, you need this direction that keep you have faith in yourself, because it's, as you know, both, there is a lot of darkness that we have to go through. It's not only the love and the light, it's also the darkness. And especially in the darkness, for whatever reason, it's how it's designed this journey, the love and light is not accessible. It's like it's in the backpack, but really, really, really in the back.
Yes.
And you cannot reach it, like because the darkness is really to
Yes.
achieve. I think that moment is when you get the inner phase that makes you arrive where others give up.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And then there is the legend. Then there is the, oh, I hear that once arrived there. And then it's the most to most that makes that more people wants to arrive because somebody did it before.
Yes. It's interesting to be, like on the 100th monkey journey. There's so many that were willing to do this, and strategically placed all over the world, very alone, going through this feeling as though there's not another person alive that could possibly be feeling this or experiencing this. And the hopelessness that does come over us at times, you're met again and again with moments that are so critical, so life and death critical. Yeah. And just when you think you've overcome the biggest one you could possibly imagine, holy shit, there's another one. And you're thinking, this cannot be. I've done all the work. I've done it. I've accepted, and I've given, and here I am in the dark, completely naked with nothing, absolutely nothing. And I cheer people on and I say, I know this is going to sound very strange, but the moment that you feel like you don't exist, hooray.
Yeah.
Hooray. And that sounds insane. I know it does. It sounds absolutely insane because the little mind cannot conceive of why on earth the disillusion of our identity is so critical and amazing to what lies really beyond, and we have no ability to access it unless we are willing to be at that level. Yeah. And it's frightening, and not for the faint of heart, and not all, not all human beings are meant for that journey. And accepting and understanding that too is a huge deal for those of us who are on this particular path, is accepting that, oh, that's something I have to accept as well, because we love so completely and so unconditionally that we can't look upon anything that is in our view and not love it wholly. And truly, understand that it is a reflection of our very being.
Exactly.
And that is truly, Agustí, to that point about, what's heaven on earth, that knowingness, that experience. And when we have that, we would love all to have that. That's a great joy. That's bubbling in our very being, that's what we want to share. That's what we wish, for all. And so even, now there's the celebration, and holding this energy of joy and celebration that many, many, many are coming through this period of darkness. And as you said, Agustí, I mean, it's wired into the program that, yes, in fact, the light is always present. Whether or not we can access it is a completely different story. But, and there is this, I think it's just wired into the program that those of us that are on this, we are connected in that oneness, even when we're experiencing that separation, that deep, deep, deep separation. And so, as you say, it's the surprises, it's that message, it's that phone call, it's that, email, whatever, that comes at just the right moment, or even a stranger on the corner. I mean, it steps in to give that little tap, like, that light that's way, way back there, it's there. It's there, and that I have to say, like, that's the beauty to me of this, is that knowing that there is no one that is left in darkness. No one, not for real. It will seem that way. Absolutely, it seems that way. But the truth is that there is no one that is left. And that even as we step into that purview of oneness, and others are experiencing separation, they are still truly a part of this one grand organism of consciousness that we all are.
Exactly. And they do exactly what they need to do in every single moment. There is like nothing is a mistake, and nothing is, not meant to be. And that's the beauty when you can look at it like this. Although from a human perspective, what's happening might seem like complete darkness or drama, but when you can see why it's necessary and see the beauty in it for ourselves, for the evolution of the species, because this is not about one or two people moving forward, it's about everyone. But of course, everyone is exactly where they need to be for that evolution to occur. And for me, it's so brilliantly designed. And of course, it's all of us who designed it together too. In God's kitchen, or whatever you want to call this. We just like the idea of, that consciousness is really like a laboratory of, okay, what can we experiment with and what can we play with? But you can only see it that way when you have transcended that own darkness of separation, where you feel separated from everything, and where you feel that loneliness, and where you feel that hopelessness. And there is no way around it. There's no way of love and lighting it away, or of avoiding it. When it's your time, and it's gonna get you exactly where you where you need to be in that moment. It's not that we felt like we chose this actively. We were just pushed into this whole process. And it's not like we thought one day, woke up and thought, oh, let's do some darkness today.
No. No, not at all. Not at all. No. And it's interesting, speaking about this too, and so many people would say, oh, we've been waiting for this, evolution. We've been waiting for this enlightenment. We've been waiting for this ascension. And it seems, as to Agustí's point, it's a carrot. And the carrot, though, keeps moving out in time. So it's never happening. And so there's a lot of people in a great deal of suffering saying that, well, it still hasn't happened. Well, it still hasn't happened. Well, the world looks worse. My life is worse, all of this. But I have to say that as I feel into this, and again, to the point of our conversation of this point of reference that we're speaking of in this oneness, the more of us that are able to be in that space, our energy is expanding. It's ever expanding. And so each time another being steps into this frequency, it expands ever more. So it's this constant expansion, and it's pulling individual, seeds of fractals of consciousness into itself constantly. And I feel to share that this love that we are is so expansive and so joyful at how immense this has become and is continuing to become, that it's in time, quote unquote, which is outside of time, but in our experience of time, it feels that things are delayed or whatever to us just because of the frequency and speed or spin of these new expressions that are pouring into this space. Exactly. And so I feel to say, like, love is ever expanding and ever calling us home. And this experience of the new earth and the new thing that so many of us are very well aware of, it is happening. It is happening. And because of the nature of its magnitude at this point, right? And I do believe this. I believe that it exceeded any sort of original concept that was played in God's kitchen, right? When this original idea was conjured, I think what we have done as humanity is so beyond that it's all this consciousness reforming to create what this so-called awakening or new earth or whatever will actually appear to be. Right. And so if we're fully out of that conditioned mindset of looking at things with conditions, right? Which again, when we try to judge our ascension or enlightenment or new earth or where we are on a path, that point of analysis is conditioned thinking. Well,
Yeah,
oh, I've
yeah.
been doing my work and I'm on this path and it should be a certain way. This
Yeah,
shouldn't
yeah.
be happening. Oh, you know, this stuff with the pandemic, this should be over. The light has won and the dark is not, you know, it should be over. But from that state of this expanded oneness and consciousness, we understand, as you said, Vera, the purpose. There is great purpose in absolutely every energetic piece, and everything is energy. So there is grand purpose in all of these things that are unfolding that our human mind may like to judge. But when we go deep into that soul level, there is no judgment. There's just, this is what it is. And this is all serving this grander adventure in consciousness.
Exactly. And that is the point when you truly start owning your creation. When you see what you're capable of creating, because you realize that everything you experience with your own eyes, with your own physical vessel, with your feelings, with everything is your creation. When you truly get to that point, and a lot of people talk about it, but when you truly see it as for what it is, that it is a direct reflection of your own state of consciousness and being, how you experience your reality. That is when you take full ownership of your creation and with it, with your creator power. And that's when everything starts shifting. But it's not that you can skip this step, because you need to be empty of any of the conditioning we have taken on, the illusion of the separations we have believed to be true. And it's one thing to talk about this energetically. It's easy to, you know, say, I love you unconditionally, and there is no, but to actually bring that into the material world, where we are so trained to think into mine and yours, and this is whatever, my house, my car, my money, my whatever, my country, my passport, my nationality, my religion. There is so many things that we take for granted, and we don't even realize for a long time how conditioned and how conditional we are in our thinking when it comes to material. And we can only bring the unconditional into the material world when we don't see it like this anymore, when we truly, and it's not about forcing ourselves. Again, it's nothing we can just say like, oh, from today on, I'm unconditional with everything, you know, around me. It's really also there. It's a step-by-step bringing it down into the physical that you can actually share unconditionally. Because if you don't do that, and that was our experience, because we thought, oh, we're just going to be unconditional with everything, but we were not there yet, because we still had somewhere a conditional thinking of, if we do that, then it will come back to us, you know, in a way. And so we ended up having nothing, and nothing came back to us. And we're like, okay, somehow there was still an energy of expectation. So it's really nothing you can force yourself into. It happens in the moment when you're ready for it. Also to see that, and it's almost kind of funny because, you know, a lot of people in the conspiracy say the World Economic Forum, and they want you to own nothing, and, you know, like you own nothing and you will be happy, and these slogans. And in the end, it's like, yes, that's true, but it's a different octave. You know? That's actually how nature works. You're not owning anything and you're happy. But of course, forcing the agenda through control is definitely not the way, and it's not the energy of it. But I almost had to laugh, because in the end, that's how it's going to end up at some point, you know?
Yes.
And also all in the level of awakening and the conspiracy and the 4D and all the stuff, I love that a few days ago, but I was in a dream having conversations with Klaus.
With Klaus Schwab. I met him in my dream.
So, and for me, it's, yeah, you can have a garden with 32 Buddhas there. That's easy. But to have a house with a Buddha and a poster of Klaus Schwab on the side, I say, he is co-creating with me. To have the level of non-separation, because, sorry, he is part of the same plan as I am. I'm just a piece doing my part, and he's doing his piece. One part are preparing things and the other part is preparing things. And sorry, somebody needs to dismantle things too, because the demolition team is working too. And there is a lot of people dying right now, but without a black hole bringing all energy into the black hole, you cannot have bricks for the new. That's necessary. So, and we cross the black hole, everybody of us, a lot of times, recycling, and only chaos can cross the black hole. Nothing else. There is no structure, like only essence can go completely through the black hole. So it's, I really challenge everybody with Buddhas on the garden to plant a little statue. I don't know, of Klaus Schwab.
One of Klaus Schwab, one of Bill Gates.
He is as part of oneness, of source, as Buddha, as for me, it's as once I said, I think in Talk Show, Donald Trump is the twin flame of America.
Trump is the twin flame of America. Yes. Okay.
And that, it's part. You need constantly right now in this video game that we're all playing. It's you constantly need more triggers and more pressure and more triggers and more pressure. And now they go, oh, now everything is going to be out of the lockdowns and again and happy. And then something new is going to happen to put more pressure and feel. So it's always a wave and a wave and a wave and a wave. Oh, I'm breathing. No, more compression. Oh, I'm breathing. More compression until all the waves are dismantled. And then you are completely transcendent or whatever it is. But it's necessary this point of, oh, I'm in separation. Can you hack? Can you imagine yourself, including in, you can enter in meditation or whatever. You don't need to do it physically. Now everybody going after Klaus Schwab. At least in your meditation state, are you able to hack somebody like him or Bill Gates? And I know that he did a lot of things, perhaps that are not good, but my hand, I raised the hand. I did a lot of things that in morality, I could be judged for that. But two, 3 nights ago, I had a dream that I was in a trial, that they're going to trial me. And I didn't know for what, but I was completely calm. And I was talking to my lawyer in the dream before arriving to the judge. Oh, I don't know what is this trial about, but I have completely calm of consciousness right now. They can judge me for whatever. I'm completely calm. So it's a point for me. I really will love that anybody could be able to not feel separation with anybody else. And I know that it's difficult if you are struggling with a fight with somebody in front, and that happens a lot. It doesn't matter if they're the pedophiles or the ones who put you the GIFs or the ones of the COVID or the governments. It's really difficult to embrace and hack that aspect of yourself. So yes. If I have one wish, is that everybody being able to hack whatever it's fighting right now.
Yes. Oh, Vera, Agustí and Vera, I can't agree with you more on that. I cannot agree with you more. And actually someone had a real issue with me, was arguing with me because I wasn't angry enough at the people that are doing these things. And oh, they're getting ready to do more, Allie, they're doing. And I said, the only energy that disarms anything is just unconditional love.
Yeah.
And I don't have to agree, and that's a good point. You don't have to agree with what someone else is doing.
No.
You just know that they are playing a part of this grand play. Yes, yeah. This theater. And Agustí, this is a good point because human beings, especially in the United States, I feel have long made this mistake of saying, oh, never forget. That's something I absolutely think is absolutely wrong. Never forget, because what they focus on, not forgetting, is the pain and the wound that happened to me because of them, those others, right? Yeah. Rather than, this is a moment that we all shared a common focus. To look at 9/11, the whole world focused. Well, in that focus, that power of focus, there was a grand wave of love because everyone was focused in that same direction. And that doesn't take away all the other analyses and everything like that. But to ignore that essential core value of that love, right? And that so-called disaster or whatever actually birthed loving hearts where there previously weren't. There were people going to the aid of others that would not even speak to those types of people before. I mean, there were story after story about people being moved out of their normal ways of being and stepping into this lovingness that they hadn't even experienced in themselves before. And so every single thing we experience, as you said, and even the people that are labeled enemies or whatever, there is such a profound gift that is being born of their being. There, like just the fact that they exist, it is catalyzing and causing many, many things. There's a purpose in their existence.
There is a gigantic opportunity for me every time that somebody is triggering you, and could be your neighbor screaming to you, that person, that the people on the news saying that they're gonna rise the lockdown or more strict lockdowns, the mysterious lab, Bill Gates, doesn't matter. Whoever it's right now triggering you, it gives you an opportunity to tap into your emotions, in what makes you feel that person. And I have to say that after our, I think, 13, 14 months tour in the United States, emotions, so nobody teach people or nobody raise people showing how to express their emotions. Yeah. Americans are really afraid of showing emotions to anybody. Yeah. It's not exclusively an exclusive thing of Americans. It happens in Europe. It happens worldwide. It's a worldwide real pandemic. But in America, it's really extreme because it's a teenager country, and for all the past and the history and the conditioning, it's really rare to feel somebody being vulnerable and expressing emotions. I have to say that a part of the Hollywood news, so the Hollywood movies, in the last 10 months, or in the last, more or less 10 months, I had to applaud. I was applauding Rudolph Giuliani. Rudolph Giuliani was one day in front of the cameras, being completely crushed, crying, explaining that he was completely desolated because he does not believe anymore in democracy for all that they did. Doesn't matter if he's one side or the other. He was that day in front of the camera, a vulnerable person expressing his emotions. And then they put it, they retired his license.
Yeah, they put him away. Yeah.
That's narratives. Because precisely what nobody wants in that game is somebody expressing their emotions. But that, it's for me the most powerful thing. And what makes the biggest shift in the path, in your pace, in the path, is your attitude to look inside instead of when you change the direction of your finger. When you start taking responsibility, as Vera said, that it's simple as what this Pfizer company or whatever, it's made me feel. Oh, it made me feel unsafe. Okay, why? Because I want to have control. I don't want to be in control. They are in control of me, or whatever it is that the whole rubbish in your mind brings you. And then when the rubbish is so load in your head, maybe then you can go a little bit to your heart, because it's about reach your heart. And I really encourage people not just to embrace Klaus Schwab and the rest of colleagues, also to what they make you feel. As you said before, we are one. What these actors in your play, I love the movie Tenet, because it shows you that you are the protagonist of your play, and everybody's the protagonist in this multi-fractal Netflix that we are all together synchronized and entangled. If you are the protagonist, if you are really own that you are the protagonist and everything is a conscious reflection of yourself, this person has a power on you as much as something inside you is triggered. And they don't disappear because you shoot them, or because you switch off the TV, or because you scream to them, or because you convince more people that they are the bad guys. Because if you are screaming to everybody in your family that they are the bad guys and they are the bad guys, it's the law of attention. So they not disappear more. The screenplay guys on top, they want more of that. So we're going to more of that. But nobody, and we know that it's how it works. We are here to experience what we are here to experience. But it's about just sometimes, if this conversation, if this podcast serve for somebody to say, what they make me feel, why they make me feel. And when we say feel, for me, when I met her, she asked me, how are you feeling? And for my type of human design and Gene Keys, I'm not able to express emotions. It's not just my English. I don't know how to describe emotions. It's really difficult. And I have to describe how it's the whole emotion around. It's really long. And for her, that is the German with executive summary. It was the and I have, the emotion is like this, like this, like this. It doesn't matter if you need to explain it in 1,000 words. Explain how are your emotions. If you need to make a long post on Facebook, do it. Doesn't matter if it's only for yourself, if nobody puts a like. Share your emotions, share your emotions, share your emotions. Because that's heaven on earth. When you can be vulnerable, be yourself, and there is no consequences. And there is no consequences. That's paradise.
And Agustí, I think that's a very, very good point, because I think most people, they stay in that place of fear, of expressing for fear of consequences, but they're actually consequences that they're projecting in their own mind that's holding them back. Because nothing, unless you are actually expressing something and can point to something that has returned to you, it really is in your own mind. And it's really beautiful right now that I can look around and see a lot of people actually doing exactly what you're saying. And I hope to see more and more and more in the coming months. But I am seeing more and more people really emoting, and they're even expressing their own surprise and shock at their emotions and the fact that they're writing it publicly on a Facebook page. But even more, they're coming to me and saying, I can't even believe the loving responses. I was scared to death to say that this is how I feel. Yeah. And yet more and more people are like, thank you for saying that. That is exactly how I feel. That is exactly what I'm going through. And so, you know, you're really bringing up that point now, Agustí, about the mirror. You know, we are mirroring each other, and the things that we have difficulty with that other people have ease with, that helps us too, because that is an aspect of us too. You know, and our willingness to move through all of the various levels and all of the things that we feel, you know, that we're holding ourselves back, you know, to just accept this beautiful reflection. It's all out there for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and to be willing on our own, you know, on our own, to be willing to take those steps. Like you said earlier, the path is rocky and it might not come out perfect. It may not be what you want to say. You know, maybe your heart's bleeding a very, very long thing and you write 2 sentences. But the point is taking the step. Right. It's just that forward motion. And as you said earlier, you know, if you're moving in a direction, if you're gonna fall, at least you're falling forward. And that's so beautiful and so true, because you're just, okay, maybe you didn't get miles and miles in, you know, but you got a step. And you can stand up and dust yourself off and really take a review of, okay, where am I? And go into the emotions, right? Look at, how do I feel? Because the feeling is guiding everything. And it's so many times it's so subconscious. We're so unaware that it's actually what we're feeling that's controlling what's happening, not what we think we're doing, not what our mind thinks is going on, but it's what we're holding in here, what we're feeling. That's actually, and so the more that we can consciously connect to that, to the emotions, even if we don't understand them, which is also a part of it. You know, I say to people, you don't have to know why you're sad. You don't even have to know why you're mad. The first step is just to know you feel that way. You know, and the emotions themselves guide us, don't they? I mean, they guide us into what we need to know.
Yeah, one thing is guiding, but it's even more than that, because the emotions are like, it's our tool we have to actually transcend energies and to transform them. It's the only way. We cannot do that through meditation or through calming our mind. That's really just calming, and it's calming the nervous system, but it's not transforming. The only way we can transform energy and we can really come out at a higher level is through feeling the emotions. And that's, the more people are understanding that, and that is actually the way to true liberation, to true freedom, is when we are looking at our emotions and when we're truly accepting them as something very powerful and beautiful, because that's the basis for creation. That's the life force that we're basically, with every tear cried, we're blasting open that channel that was closed for the life force to flow through us in a undistorted way. And it's really for me, like the key to cross the black hole, like you said, is to make peace with our emotions and really embracing them. And another important point I feel is, because like you said, Ellie, just a moment ago, that you don't have to know what you feel, because it's the mind. The mind wants to understand. The mind wants to have someone or something to blame for the experience. That's why we want to understand it. But at some point, you cannot even understand anymore what you're feeling, because you are processing from your cellular memory things that, you know, we carry, like in a holographic setup. We're in a holographic setup. We carry the pain of the whole species within us. So we're processing things we don't know where they come from, or in what lifetime they were experienced from someone, or, you know, it's understanding. At some point, the process goes so deep into our physical memory, we are not able to understand it, because it's not part of our lifetime experience we had here. But we still need to process it, because it's still in our cellular memory, in our physical body. And that's often the issue with collective, you know, when we see collective reflection back at us, like what's playing out right now in the world. It's easy to not own it, because you cannot relate to it with your own lifetime experience. But when you go deeper, you will see, oh, but it's in my cellular memory, and that's why it's playing out exactly the way it's playing out right now, because I have all the darkness and all the light within me too. And like Richard Rudd from the Gene Keys, he said, I don't know which gene key it was, but he said it becomes a physical agony that you're going through when you truly go into embodiment, and when all these demons start to come out and be peeled out of your cellular memory. Because it's not only the emotional pain, it's really physical pain you're experiencing when your body is starting to throw this shit out. And
yeah,
it's not fun, but at the same time, it's amazing what the body is doing and is capable of withstanding too, because we're dying without dying, really literally physically dying without going through the actual death experience to carry on the species as a whole. For me, it's absolutely fascinating how this whole thing is set up and is working, once we see through the stories and through the narratives that keep us distracted from the actual process, or the actual back-end algorithm, which is actually very simple when you're not distracted by all the colorful narratives that are out there to hook into.
Oh, well, this has just been absolutely amazing having the two of you here and sharing this. And really, I mean, for me, it is, like I said, you know, as you two are dancing in the consciousness, right? And I say quantum architects, moving through this incredible space. It's so, I think, inspiring to people to really understand that there is a view from love that is this beautiful, magnificent, and immense. And it is truly playing out in the world, and we are all a precious part of it. And everything that we are feeling and experiencing, every bit of it, dark and light, is all purposeful. It's all purposeful. And when seen from the higher octaves in the higher place, it is all love. It truly is all love. And if we just continue to be brave enough in our every moment to meet ourselves really, to be real with our moments, you know, then we will come together with more and more others that are real. And that realness expands, and that realness heals, and that realness inspires.
Yeah.
And I am just my heart is so full to have the two of you here today, because I just know that this energy, this beauty, this love, and this wisdom is going to permeate the cosmos through the waves of this podcast and this show. So thank you two for being here today. And everybody, please find our beloved guest Vera Agustí on thebeyondables.com. They do have a store, Absolutia store on Etsy with a clothing line. They have an incredible game. If you want to play a game and start to learn how to be a consciousness architect yourself, there's an incredible game they've created called The Source Code, and you can find that. In Amazon, True Romance, Thank You for Destroying My Life. Get a copy of that book. And you can also find Vera Agustí on Facebook as well. So I love you two so much. Thank you for the honor of sharing this space with Lou and I. And I'm wishing you all the best in the coming days and look forward to having you back. Love you. Love you so much.
Thank you. Fantastic.
Thank
Brilliant.
you.
Cheers.